It is said that the wise learn from the mistakes of the others, the intelligent from his own ones, and the stupid neither nor. So the question remains, who are we? Who are you? Are you wise? Are you intelligent? Or are you stupid? In this video, we will speak how to overcome our ignorance and how to find true knowledge and our full potential. Who can claim to have infinite knowledge? I guess very few people or almost nobody. On the other hand, who thinks to have infinite ignorance? Well, I think most of us fall into that category. Our knowledge is very limited, but our ignorance is endless. There's so much to know. The problem actually starts when we think to know more than we actually do. Or in other words, when we are ignorant about our ignorance. When we think that we have mastered something, or that we have achieved something, or we have realized the ultimate. When we convince ourselves about this one lie that we are greater than we actually are. Like when you apply for a job and you give your employer your curriculum and you tell him how great you are, how good you are in that job, how much experience you already have, all the achievements. Well, if that are only words, if you're actually not delivering, then you won't keep the job for a long time, or at least you won't really advance in that job. The same thing is in the spiritual field, where you might have some small enlightenments, some small realizations, some achievements, and you might think how far you have come already, how great you are. Maybe you have done some weekend course and have become a Reiki master, or have awakened your Kundalini, or whatever else it might be. The market is quite big. That is actually the problem. We have maybe made a small step, realized a little thing, opened a little bit our awareness, and think already we have mastered and transcended the material world. But in reality, we have maybe made a baby step in this endless journey towards God. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be happy about our achievements, realizations, and the awareness which has increased in us. But on the other hand, we shouldn't also fool ourselves of making it bigger than it actually is, because that will stop us from actually making real progress. Every human being wants to increase their awareness, their horizon, their knowledge. It's just natural. Our essence, our Atman, is Satchit Ananda. It is, amongst other things, supreme consciousness. And therefore, it is just natural that it is our natural impulse to strive always for higher states of consciousness and awareness. Before I met my spiritual master, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, I also thought, I know it all. I have traveled the world, I have practiced for many years different kinds of yogas and other practices, meditations, read many books. And so I had many ideas, many different experiences, and I thought, I know what it is all about. But after I met my master, I saw how ignorant I am. Once he gave me the first awakening, the first awareness of something higher, I actually saw that my knowledge is very, very small. And it has encouraged me to actually go deeper and to put aside this arrogance of thinking to know, to approach the master with humility and ask for instructions, ask for guidance. And so, through the path of the spiritual master, the days, the weeks, the months, the years pass, and new awareness grows, new realizations come, new enlightenment comes. And I looked back at my first encounter with him, where I got some realizations, And the time where I thought, now I finally know. And again I saw that that realization was just a small opening of the curtain towards that ultimate reality. Having got a little bit more awareness, I thought again, now I know. How could I think some time back that I knew I was so stupid, I was so ignorant? Now I know. Again, time passes, days, weeks, months, years, which are filled with purification, new realizations, new enlightenments. And in those moments where he opens again a little bit more the curtain, where I realize a little bit more, where the awareness is more deepened, I again thought, now I know. My God, was I stupid? Some time back, I actually thought I got it. I was so ignorant. Now I know. Again, the time goes on. Days, weeks, months, and years pass. New realizations come by the grace of the Master, by the spiritual practice. New realizations happen. The curtain opens a little bit more. And again, I'm thinking, oh my God, now I see. Some time back, I actually thought over and over again that I know, but I never really knew. Now I know. Well, this process keeps on going and the knowledge keeps on increasing. The awareness keeps on increasing till you come to the conclusion that you actually don't know. As much as the curtain might be opened, as much as you might realize and have a deeper understanding of reality, it is still just a very tiny part of what the fullness of everything is. Because the fullness is infinite. And therefore, the knowledge will always be limited. The ignorance will forever be infinite. And that is not something to get depressed by. It is actually a very beautiful thing. Because the more I got to know myself, the more I realized that I have actually no clue who I truly am. The more, by the grace of my Master, he has shown me what the reality around me is, the more I have realized that I don't know what the reality actually is. It is really beautiful how the mystery of life reveals itself, how this true self reveals itself, how God reveals himself in everything, and how this relationship is more and more perceivable. And to have this kind of experience, it is really important to be aware of our ignorance, to be aware of our limitations and conditionings. We shouldn't meditate on them and contemplate on them, but we also shouldn't fall for the trap to think that we have already transcended everything, that we have transcended all desires, the mind and the ego. Because as long as we don't have, we just don't have. And we won't fool the Master or God. The only one we will fool with this kind of thinking is ourselves. And by thinking to have achieved already a certain level, we will automatically not have anymore the motivation to actually work on ourselves, to have this humility, to be free of judgment towards others and ourselves. I have met many seekers and also devotees who pretend to actually be more advanced than they actually are. It is to some extent good. Fake it till you make it. But don't go too far. Don't fool yourself too much, because otherwise you will become arrogant and you won't actually progress anymore. So we should always strive to deepen this consciousness, this awareness, this love relationship with God. And for that, it is very important that we are not ignorant about our ignorance. Know your limitations. Know where you have to work on yourself. The easiest way to actually overcome every limitation and to attain the full awareness of your true self and the ultimate love relationship with God is to have the focus constantly on God. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Those who are constantly engaged with me and worship me with intense love, I give them the realization by which they can come to me. Out of compassion for them from within their hearts, I lift the lamp of knowledge and dispel the darkness born of ignorance." Therefore, the easiest way to get rid of our ignorance is to have our mind focused on God. Engage yourself with His form, with His name, with His leelas. Be focused on God all the time. Remember Him, remember His love, remember His name. And through that, all your ignorance will be removed by His grace.